I keep forgetting that. It's Grinder you're on. I always get that mixed up. So we spoke earlier in the week, young Padraig. You said Friday you have all the documentation.
No. I said I hoped to have all the documentation.
The hope is not really a legal term that you can keep pulling up out of the blue, which Anthony does all the time. I hope to have those cabanas pictured next Tuesday. That's fine if you're Popeye and you're talking to Mr. Wimpy. But no. You're grown adults. It's a very simple, straightforward operation.
Okay, well, I don't have the deeds here with me at the moment, which is most regrettable, as they are highly interesting. But we will source them at some stage.
We'll source them at some stage.
Yes.
Could you be more vague? Could you
no, I couldn't be anything more vague than that.
Perhaps, hopefully, you have them within our possession, if at all possible.
Before either one of us pass away.
If not earlier, or it's possible that maybe you won't, because it does sort of get bounced around in the Farrelly world. The universe
timescale
is topsy-turvy and back to front and no sides.
Absolutely.
So we can't do the history of the Farrelly brothers today.
Well, I can give you a little bit of information, but I think if we had the deeds, we would be able to do a concise start, done,
finish. You have the dates and all that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know the date. My father moved here 1958.
Okay.
He bought off George Robertson, who was in Newcastle.
Right.
But going back beyond that, there was Hayden's before that.
Okay,
old boss Hayden. But I could have the date for when Hayden's passed to Robert. It's all the same family.
Yeah, Hayden's, I was talking to him the other day now. I'm going to do a little history of Killincarrig, and he was talking about the butchers here and the family connection. And so how old do you think are you talking about like 100 years, is it? Or
1866.
Holy moly, did we have animals back then?
Yes, we did.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
I thought they were invented in the early 20th century.
Yeah, only the packaging ones.
Okay, right, there we go.
They came in with the real biodegradable stuff.
I don't know how they get around the fields.
And the first name, as far as I remember, on the deeds is French's, with 2 F's.
French's,
yes. A family called French. Not
French
Frenches. No, I think they were Irish French.
What?
The Irish French as opposed to a French. I mean, this is.
I've heard of like French, but French's.
Yes.
Sorry.
I think there was 2 F's in it.
Holy
but again, this is all the old.
Maybe it was FFS. Was that maybe?
I could be. We will decipher it when we see it. Okay.
But I suppose just for a little of the oral history, because I will back it up then with the documents when they surface.
Yes.
So you're talking about 1886, you said?
1866, and it was a victualler's den. So it is it is being a butcher shop stroke victualler's from that time to present day.
So what last year would have been a major, well, every year is a major anniversary for a place that old, but would you say that how much of the building itself now would be still from that era, because the location is there, and obviously you've got to update a little bit.
Funny you say that.
Always funny,
I know, you always hit the nail on the head with your knowledgeable, deep, questioning voice.
Hey, you've been reading my diary.
Pure look. Okay. That wall there, the shop is here, so we have that wall that goes up to the roof, and this wall over here that goes up to the roof.
Okay, supporting walls are they? Or?
Supporting walls, yes.
There we go,
now we've got a little bit of work done in the attic.
Right.
It's a 2-story building.
You had those whips and things put in there, yeah.
So the guy doing work in the building said, when was the extension put on? We said, there's no extension mentioned in the deeds anywhere. Right. He said, well, that wall there, which is an internal wall, when it gets up to the attic, continues straight up, and it's pebble dashed.
Holy.
Now, they don't pebble dash internal walls.
Not unless you're very drunk, you wouldn't do that. Yeah.
So you only pebble dash an external wall. So this part was added on.
He could have had a lot of Guinness and peanuts that night and just come home and
had a bad dose.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hopefully it's pebble dash. Right.
I'm glad you always come up with a plan B.
I'm hoping it's pebble dash. Yeah.
So, assuming that is correct, which is a logical thing, this part of the building was added on at some stage. At what stage we don't know, because we don't even know when the first part was built.
Right.
All we know is that on the deeds, it was 1866. Who's not to say that there wasn't a building prior to that?
Right. Wow, that's amazing. And absolutely, it could be just like a residence, which it became. You know, obviously that's the residence part of the operation. This became the working.
The working part. Yeah.
And was there ever like a glitch? Like, was there ever a pause in the business? Has it always been? You know,
from our knowledge and our looking at the deeds, it has always been a butcher shop.
Hence, I guess, you know, that you have your own kind of slaughterhouse. That was always, you know, the logical thing.
That was always there.
Yes,
it was standard in those days. If you had a butcher shop, you had your own little laboratory. You sourced your animals locally.
You weren't going to jump in your high ace and go up to the farm, like you didn't have a high ace with you. It'd take about 4 hours in a horse and cart, so yeah.
Exactly.
There we go.
And even to the present day, on a Monday morning, Tom turns up with his few lambs, all the way from Cherry's Brow and Blackberry Lane.
Nice.
So
nice.
You walk there, we walk there. It's the animals technically haven't even left the village.
It's kind of beautiful that it is.
Well, it is.
It is still exactly the same in many ways, you know.
Yeah, it's a very unique, it's a very traditional method. There's not many butcher shops in Wicklow. There's only 3 abattoirs in Wicklow. We have one. Murphy's in Tinnahealy is another, and that's a domestic one. And Miles Doyle over in Dunlavin, also a domestic one.
It must have been pretty fascinating for you guys to go from. I knew your dad well from a child coming in here, and that idea that you would have gone from very traditional butchers to you never really kind of changed. Like, it was always the same, and there would have been obviously around you there would have been things became boutiques and things became kind of much more bigger, better productions and modernized and all that. But you by being so tight with your money and all that stuck with your guns.
Yes.
And you kind of come around to being exactly what people ultimately want. It's the idea that it's the real deal, that there's no, this has not just been built yesterday to look old, or that it's trying to pretend it's reinventing itself as an old place. This is the old place.
This is the old place, yes.
And did you as guys, I know you had wonderful years down at Cabanas, we've seen the evidence to prove that, but did you guys struggle with the family business growing up? Because I think I did ask you this before, but I would imagine when you're 12, 13, 14, 15, even though you're comfortable around it, you know it, the world and all that, it wouldn't necessarily be the number one choice that I'm going to follow my dad into this. Or
yeah, you weren't exactly so. It wouldn't have been your first choice.
Right. You want to be a dancer, wasn't it?
Strip dancer.
Right, okay. Well, the same thing. We would say dancer just for
exotic dancer.
For passport reasons. It's better to put dancer down.
Yeah, exotic dancer.
But was there?
I just didn't have the technique.
Well, you just kept dropping the ping pong balls, and
I know. I kept tripping over. I don't know what. I just got tripping over my feet.
Oh, that's it. That's what it was. Yeah. One of the Farrelly's, when you're doing this sort of dancing.
Yeah.
The old Doc Martens will come loose if you're dancing on a pole. But the idea then that you did come around to being like your father and Anthony as well, was that a
planned thing? Absolutely not. No. Father was going into Loughlinstown to get
4 kids, not a 4 family.
No. He was having an operation on his leg, and he suffered with ulcers for many years and ingrown toenails and 1 or 2 other things. But he did say
to us, hereditary, by the way. Especially the toenail, that's hereditary.
I know. Look at mine. Anyway, he went in and he told us, going into hospital, be gone for a few days. You run the place.
Nice. And what age were you then? Were you like teenagers?
We were still we were doing our night stuff into Cabanas at the time.
Okay.
And we both looked at each other and sort of said, okay.
Well, one meat market's the same as another.
Exactly.
All these meat markets are the same ultimately.
Yeah. We'll struggle on for a couple of days.
Right.
He never came back. He came out of the hospital.
How selfish is that? That was a plan on his part. There's no way that he didn't know what he was doing there.
Yeah.
If he threw you in the water, you'd swim or you'd just drown. And you guys luckily swam.
We doggy paddled. Yeah. as he always said about us, you're a pair of gobshites, you won't last long. That was his opinion in 1991.
Back when parents knew how to encourage their children.
Absolutely, yes. So, 91, what are we now? We're a few years further down, and he'd still have the same opinion about us.
Nice.
They see these around.
Did you guys, I'm guessing that if you initially thought it was a kind of a stopgap thing or whatever, did you guys, I don't know if you sort of looked at each other one day and said, uh-oh, this is us now. We're actually...
around about the time Cabanas closed.
Right, that's
and we suddenly looked at each other and went, oh shit.
Job number 1 is gone. Plan B, quick.
Plan B.
Plan B being Plan Butchers. Yeah.
So it sort of incentivized us to sort of consider our options.
But you do seem very happy now. Was it at any point not a happy experience? Was it tough?
Oh, look, it's tough. There's tough times in it. There's stressful times. Not mentioning Christmas and turkeys and foul things like that.
Hey!
Yes. But...
you really have to get that midget with the little symbol behind.
Yes.
Now, Pedro.
But yeah, no, it's the same with any business.
Yeah.
And there are tough times. You just have to get over them and just,
But when you're truly married to a business, and there are quite a few people around who do what they love in many cases, but they know really this is not just a job, a 9 to 5. This is sort of their life as well.
Generally, if you take pride in your work, You're proud of what you do. You do it to the best of your ability.
Have you told Anthony this? Because I don't know if he knows that. Does he know that?
No, look.
You should tell him that. You should tell him about the prize thing.
We tried to make it subtly to
you see
him.
Just the way he's flopping around the place and he's looking down to the ground and he's always texting. I think you should have a word with him about the pride thing. Yeah.
I know.
So you guys sort of, obviously it's sort of, as life does, things happen without you actually planning them. Do you sort of feel that it's now hopefully something that will go further with family? Has anybody shown an interest? I know your kids are quite young, and is Anthony allowed to have children? I don't know if he's got kids.
Well,
there are young Farrellys.
There are 5 apparently wandering around, which is
Anthony.
Yes.
Anthony with a woman 5 times. No.
I know, it's a bit shocking. It's a bit shocking.
Did he bring home the stun gun from the butcher's or something? But that idea of it being such a long, gorgeous tradition in the family, has it been spoken about in any romantic way with the kids?
Listen, we had a sit down, we did a heart-to-heart, and we just basically said, no, feck it, we'll sell the place, cash in, make our money, and bang off to the Bahamas.
I knew it. You and the Happy Pair twins out there, mansion to mansion. I can see it now. Meat versus veg all the way.
Well, you're meat and 2 veg. I mean, that's their basic.
Well, you got a stew. Yeah, they're the 2 veg, and you guys are definitely meat. So yeah, you'd be a good combination. But no,
I'll take up my exotic dancing if I can get my leg work together.
Get the right coconut, you'll be fine. Yeah. You just need to.
No, I just need to get the. I just keep tripping over my legs.
Did it come up in conversation with any of the kids that this is? Have they sort of said to you, wait a minute, this has been going on how long? are we supposed to do this too at some point?
Well, my 2, my eldest Tom is 13. Has absolutely no way am I going to the shop, Dad. Right. And the 11-year-old James.
There he is. I saw you walking out. I was being a bit loud there. Probably wonky. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, when James comes up to the shop, he just wants to do. Can I see the heart? Can I see the liver? Can I cut this up? Can I cut that
so he's going to be a psycho. He's not just a psycho. That's nice.
Yeah, no, because he's a borderline vegetarian.
I'm amazed that you've got 5 kids. I'm not sure how that happened. I mean,
I don't.
That was one hell of a night that you were able to have 5 kids.
I don't remember even being there.
I just hope you were. That's the thing. Now, the idea of the family kind of tradition, have your kids ever been spoken about? Have they ever mentioned that they good, bad, or indifferent about becoming a butcher? Or
no, Emma said that she'd manage the place all right.
Oh, that's a good. Management's always the best job, really, because you can wear a suit and you never get any actual physical.
Oh yeah, she's very good. Like any good lady, she's very good at giving direction.
Sharon Morrison, a very beautiful formerly Sharon Malloy. She's probably the most beautiful butcher that ever walked this planet. Her father was a butcher. She was a butcher. I always thought that must have been the freakiest thing when people walked into Malloy's Butchers and it just seemed, for some reason, not to say that you guys aren't beautiful, but to see a very beautiful woman as a butcher was quite something else. You just assumed it was the start of a good movie. So
did they not do something to their father one time as well?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Christmas time.
What happened?
Well,
the rumour is
as a lot of butchers did in those days, you're very worried about your turkeys when they come in, that you look after them and you protect them.
Sure.
So he would sleep at night in the shop to make sure that nothing happened to him. But he'd go home for breakfast.
Yeah.
Nice fry, you got it right. So he left the shop 7 o'clock in the morning, went home for breakfast. About 10 minutes after he left, the lads arrived in, took all the turkeys out, laid a trail of feathers out the door and locked up. So when he came back, he got this panic. He saw the feathers open up and all the turkeys gone. It was a prank. Fortunately, he had good coronary genetics and didn't have the heart attack.
Holy moly. Nicely done. But sorry, Anthony, did any of your kids ever express that besides Emma being a
not yet.
Manager? Not yet. And
it's when they come unemployed and they've nowhere else to work.
Right, when cabanas close down for them, when their cabanas go, they'll sort of say, wait a minute, plan B for a minute. Let me have another look at that sausage.
Yeah, there might be a limit of this.
So I think it'd be fair to say, to wrap up, that this is going to be here for another good few decades, because it's 1866. Padraig was saying this began as a butcher's.
Yes.
That's amazing. And he said you'll have the deeds tomorrow. Or maybe later today, depending on if you take a lunch break or not. But tomorrow you should have them. So I'll come back tomorrow and take photographs of that. That works? Yes. That's great. Well, I'm glad to hear that, lad. Well done.